What's up, babes? I hope you can hear the song because it's weirdly perfect. But this chapter was frustrating, but it happened a lot faster than I thought it was going to happen. I think we knew it was going to happen. I would say, oh, I called it, but not really much of a call. Really not much of a call. Not a lot going on here. Some of my favorite side stuff, though, that happened in the back end, having just read Skypiea, Mr. Chestnut himself, talking about how doesn't that sound romantic? And I think that's perfect because this story is a lot more romantic than even Nolan. And I think he acknowledges that. And I love that idea now. After really going back to Skypiea. We have this dynamic with Kobe and some of his other friends that it seems like almost like they could have their own like little anime story just among them, which I could totally see being like a little spin-off with all five of these people or four even. Like the rivalry, it's like the classic. It's like the absolute classic here that you have between Prince and Kobe. It seems. I think Kobe's kind of that dude though. And then something way more interesting, we see X Drake listening to what Vegapunk has to say. That guy's buff as hell, by the way. It's good to see him again as well. And it just seemed like with the chair being out and then Smoker being in the next panel, you have to say that Smoker was the one visiting him now. Why? I'm not 100% sure. Now that he knows stuff, I think that he's always someone in pursuit of justice, and now that he knows that that idea is flawed and he feels like he's been played, he's going to go try to do something. What that is, I'm not sure. I think Sword is really going to have to do something active now, and I bet you forgot about Sword because we're so busy with other shit. Sword doesn't really seem to matter too much, but it's going to start to matter a whole hell of a lot. But seeing Smoker was great. I actually loved seeing Smoker. I didn't expect to see X Drake as well, but seeing Smoker on the way to do something is interesting. Also looking yoked as per the normal. We have some interesting stuff here where the Straw Hats are finally looking like they're going to get loose. And Gandhi himself rushes up there and attempts to destroy the Sunny. Absolutely destroy the Sunny. And it's funny because Jinbei throws Zoro like so hard. And that's literally just the scene that I wrote in my own manga. And I thought it was the funniest thing because I was like, that's a clean ass way to like get somebody somewhere and make a connection. But he does some new attack that I've never seen or heard of before. And then we have an interesting thing with the Katetsu blades, which could be its own conversation for sure. I'm not going to focus on it too much. They're going around confirming that everyone has the Conquerors. Of course, like I said before, all of the Gorosei do. And it seems like a pretty even clash, which I mean, you're going to hate. I know some of you are going to hate that I say it, but just a little tick in the Mihawk stock. I hope you invested early. I did. Some people are wanting me to cash out now, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna hold, and I'm gonna figure out where we're at. But he launched them back what seems like enough for this ship that's about to fall. The Giants come in clutch, and they do some great stuff. Their oath to the orders that they are given is absolutely fantastic. I love seeing the Giants. I know how important that they are. And then we finally get a little bit of playback from the Marines fighting them to the best of their ability. But then, I mean, the best of their ability is really not too much. I forget her name. The rock punk babe. The rock and roll blaster. Solid attack. Knocks out a giant, it seems, which is pretty solid. But then we kind of get more to the more important stuff. They're like, oh shit, I thought we were being chased. Luffy saying this. Like, what happened to him? It turns out that they are no longer being chased. Just because they stayed back because they know the giant has what they're looking for. Dorian Braga, you're talking. And then there's an interesting panel of just it absolutely looking like destruction between these four. I even thought, so I don't remember if I said it in the last video, but I definitely said it in my circles of One Piece, that I thought the giant was going to put up a fight. I don't know if it's kind of like he's destroyed and he's barely just awake, or maybe he's going to get up. It's kind of tough to tell what he's going to do, but now, I mean, he's done his duty of like protecting the thing for as long as he could. I told you it was going to cut out at an annoying part, and it did. And it did even more than I thought it would. I thought we would get something out of this part, and then I'll just repeat it. I have one last message I wish to impart. It is for those who are scattered all across the world. Those of you who carry the letter D in your name. How many times have we almost heard this? Among you there is Mo. That's it. There is Mo. That's it. He talks about how that's the giant, the Iron Giant from 200 years ago that was rampaging up there. I don't really think that holds too much significance. I mean, I feel like we already knew that. It doesn't really mean too much. But I would have liked to see him do something. I think he's kind of out of commission, and Vegapunk probably got him up enough to do something after hearing the drums. It's tough to say. But we get Dragon and Blackbeard in what I believe to be the two closest panels that we've ever seen them together, which is pretty hype. Sabo's in there too. You got Kobe and Beppo. Oh, Beppo. In there, and then all we get is Mo. And then that's it. It cuts out. He gets absolutely thwacked by Mr. Mustache Boreman himself. The signal appears to be completely gone. It appears to be. I don't know if he has a backup plan. Like, if he just, like, gets back and it's, like, as I was saying, that would be insane. I feel like we've gotten so close to the Will of D before, but we don't need it. We don't need it at this point. We just don't. That's something that could be super beautiful and poetic at the end. Something for Emu to reveal. Because if we reveal all this stuff now, then the final twist, the final, like, turn into Emu's evilness and, like, the real big bad, I think that boils down to the D. And that is kind of something that I'd like to see him say instead of Vegapunk, which would be very interesting. And clearly it seems like even Dragon doesn't know. I'm assuming that, but it just seems that way. But he did get a decent amount of information out. The world is alert. Iceberg's making that floating island. People are going to start to make some plays, especially some revolutionaries. But what was he going to say? It bothers me because, I mean, we could play semantics on this game, on this word forever. I think what he says previously is way more important when he says, among you, there is Mo. And the note that it has for me is he gets cut off as he says Mo. This could be the start of an unknown word, or it could be the particular for also. I don't think it's the particular. I don't think it's the particular because the chapter is literally named Mo with the little dash. I think Mo, whatever he was going to say, Mo-wise was going to be an important word. From the words that I've seen, I kind of like the idea of monarch. Like, you guys are like descendants of monarchs, but that's tough considering how many there are. There are more of you out there. I don't know. It's so, like, there's like nothing there. It's kind of tough to say. I just, like, you really gave us nothing. Mo. Among you there are Mo. I don't know. Do you guys have any idea? I really don't. I really don't even think that it's worth digging up every single word that starts with MO. I mean, it might be, but at the end of the day, we do all this research and then it's come to find out he said there are more of you now than ever before. And it's meant to be frustrating, and I think that he hits the nail on the head because it frustrated me to even see that. The chapter was good. We don't have a break next week, which is excellent. I hope the Giant at least gets back up and shows us something of what he can do, because he kind of just took a hit like bad. I just want to see what he's capable of, to see what the technology at that time was like. Looks like they're about to get out of here. We're about to move on to Elbaf, which is kind of nuts. The timeline, like I said, is actually sped up, because I think in the last video that I made, I was saying how I was said at the beginning of summer that this would be done, and we're kind of getting to the beginning of summer. But I think that they're leaving the island within the next, like, 4 chapters now. I thought this would have taken longer. But he did send him in the way of the ships, so I don't know what the situation's going to be there, but they're probably just going to zip on out of there. But we'll see how the Gorosei feel about that. Now that they've stopped the communication, I think that Luffy is kind of the issue. So you kind of have to stop that. I mean, you killed Vegapunk, but now it's like, oh shit, like Luffy is an issue. But Vegapunk announcing all the shit was more important, and killing him was the original mission. Now I think it comes down to kill the Straw Hats. But they're obviously not going to get away with it. We'll see where that goes. That's all I have for now. I'll see you next week. I hope you were as frustrated as I was, because Oda, he controls our feelings every Thursday. Peace out, babes. See you next week.